Hello, welcome again to Voices Repository video.
Hello. Today gonna be really interesting. We're gonna talk about the challenge of recording endangered language. Not just like record language, but the endangered language have some particularities that is make it hard, difficult, and have some challenge in recording.
Okay, just by thinking about that, what kind of challenges can you think come up to your mind?
Well, is first the number of people. As more endangered, less people.
Yes.
Right. But also cultural things. We needed to understand their language to see culturally how their language works. It's like this. We were talking already, and when all this project started, we discussed a little about this, how it worked. When you hit your toe on the table, what sound do you make? Yeah.
I think the table moved.
No, but
just kidding.
what hurting sound do you make? Like ow.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Each one is different. Each country, each
Yes,
language. Some
yes.
ew, ouch. Nah? So the cultural of each language have their nuances that we needed to pay attention of. But
That's right.
the challenge is more than this. Is first to use these languages. These people are usually like in a private community, or they don't have anyone who can speak English, so the approach to them is hard.
Yes.
But yes.
And also, it's like the location. Like it's like you
Exactly.
say, it's hard to approach
To reach.
for the equipment to
Yes.
approach, for the team to approach.
Yes, technology is also can be a problem. Even more for by the way we want to do this, how this all started. We're gonna make a video about this, but how Voice Repository was thinking to do, and how we evolve our template and how gonna work, the approach to these communities, all this project. It changed with the time to be the seamless possible, to be the best way to record the best quality language, best quality voices as possible.
Yes. So how can we finish the project if we don't have the knowledge of what the challenges are? So
exactly. Think about you want to start in a very small tribe that have 10 speakers of that language. Or let's say I want to have 100 speakers of that language. Any small number can work on this idea. That's going to be like this. You cannot reach on them. And when you reach them, do they have electricity? Electricity. Do they have the means to you record? Is the area urban area? Is a outside area? Do they have a place that you can put the equipment and record? Do they have a place that you can do anything to record this language? Can you bring the equipment to this place? One of the ideas is to bring people to our location, so we're going to have all the structure to record. So have many approaches. What I want to say is this: different communities have different approaches. So this is one of our purposes, to make the database for this, is categorize the language by not just the number of people speaking, but if in the middle of these people have someone who can speak English, or some language related, maybe French or Portuguese or even Chinese, some language that we can understand, so we can communicate. If they are easily approachable, if have a means to keep talking to them, like not just talk to them once and they don't understand technology, they don't understand how to communicate with us. This is another thing. Many of these people are already elderly, so technology maybe is not like their big understanding. They don't understand pretty well.
And also, I'm thinking, this is the technology part, the challenges that you're saying. For me, I'm also thinking, is their culture open enough for them to share their deep knowledges of their selves, for us to understand better of their languages?
Exactly.
Are they open enough
Exactly.
to give fully of their culture to us.
Yes, each community gonna have different approaches. Each community gonna have a different, not different ways, but how we can handle. Because maybe a few of them would like to participate without the community to know. So they participate without the community to know that they are participating in this project. Because some communities are so close that they don't want their culture to leak. They don't want to people participate on this. So I play is a play, but the idea is very simple. It's like a catch a Pokemon. We need to catch them all. Few are very rare, few are very easy, few are like hard, legendary, and it's gonna be like this. Unfortunately, the scale for this is as more legendary, more hard, is more endangered is the language.
Will they understand our purpose? Will they be trust us enough to give us their...
It's part of our project to create all the campaign, all the marketing, all the portfolio also, but everything to make them feel welcome, to make all these cultures, all these people feel welcome to participate in the project. So they don't feel like we are intruders on their community.
Yes. Okay, enough said. Let's give a look of this.
Yeah, let's check our website now. Here's the challenge of recording endangered language.
Okay, so at Voices Repository, we're deeply engaged in the race against time to document and preserve languages that are on the brink of disappearing. Our mission is not just about saving words, it's about keeping alive the essence of cultures, histories, and the unique human experiences encapsulated in each language.
Exactly. So is what we just said. We don't want to just record the language to people be able to make AI, but or like some tools to translate it. But it's to deeply record the culture of this language. How when it hit it, ouch. When you call someone, say, "Hey, hello, oh, hey, ooh,"
Of course.
How they express themselves. And this is one of the ideas of the project.
Yeah, the whole purpose now. What are the languages means if we don't understand or try to, if we're not meant to learn the culture?
Yes, and it's the name of the project. It's not language repository. It's voice repository. We want to hear the people, their culture, the history of their culture, everything, all their stories. And one of the ideas of the project is to send teams, like let's say is Women's Day, and we want to ask them to speak on their own language how they see Women's Day on their location, on their own cultural, or if they have some story to tell about this, or talk about their sisters, their mothers, their grandma, their daughters, or whatever, or some friends, or themselves about this team. And later gonna be another event or something happen. Talk about this event. Talk about this on your own language. Make a video about this. Record your voice about this in your language, explaining on your words, and maybe telling something that is cultural about on the location you are, on your community.
Very well said. So that's why it's not called a words repository or vocabulary repository.
Exactly.
It's more of a voice. So when you talk about someone's voice, it's not just about the sound, the pitch of it. The voice is one's opinion. Hear my voice. Hear my opinion. Hear my thoughts. Hear my story. Hear my way of thinking. So voices repository, not only just to catch the person's sentences, the sound of it, but to catch the every meaning, every stories behind that voice, behind the sentences.
Yes, exactly. And a language is not made of one person. So we cannot capture the culture of our community with just one person. So this is the idea also, is record multiple person. Is this person we're going to contact first? Maybe interview another people in the community. They speak on their own language about some anything, about some idea, like I say,
Anything.
Women's Day, or have hurricane somewhere. Talk about this in your language, in your own experiences. Maybe you can say about some day you were in a very big storm also. The idea is we send to these people ideas of what they could talk about, and they share their experiences, and they make interviews, so more people share their experiences. Because let's say I speak Portuguese. Portuguese is not me. I am not. If my Portuguese is not the totality of the Portuguese. So as more people participate on the project in that community, better. But these also, like we said, depend of the size of the community, the location of the community, how we can access them, how we can approach, how we can show our project. So everything is a challenge. So
or even Zizaki Day. I mean, who
Yes.
doesn't? Who knows?
yes, yes, people work.
Yes, the days that we don't understand. That is why we are doing this. For
Yes.
us to understand more of them, to
Yes.
find out more about them.
Yes, exactly. So we can keep going here.
Okay, the urgent challenges. Urgent, the first steps. One of the significant hurdles we face is the sheer scarcity of speakers for these languages. Many of these tongues are spoken by only a handful of individuals, often elderly, in remote or undeserved communities.
Underserved. Yeah?
Unserved
Yeah.
communities. So let me read these core difficulties we're encountered. Small speaker base, with only a few speakers left. The window to record these languages is incredibly narrow. Each passing day could mean the loss of another word, idiom, or song.
So what we just said, since these languages are vanishing, like we said in the previous video, today the community have 100 people. Tomorrow, maybe it's 99. After tomorrow, 98. There's a reason why they're endangered, because they are not getting new speakers.
Yes.
They are losing speakers.
Yeah, or some natural disaster.
Exactly.
I don't want.
Well, like
no one wants that.
like the pandemic we suffer in the world, right? Most of these people, like it said, is elderly. So this kind of pandemics can affect them pretty hard.
Yes, or someone are vanishing without we know it's vanishing. How sad is that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, no written form. A vast number of these languages have never been transcribed because they were traditionally passed down orally. This lack of a written form complicates the documentation process, as we must capture not only vocabulary and grammar, but also the oral traditions, stories, and songs that define these languages.
Yes, it's like how we just said. Some languages are so close communities. They never develop some written form. They don't have to. Their tradition is passed by mouth to mouth, like had been for generations before us. In our, like say, the Greeks used to tell stories like by speaking, and now we can have written forms. Even some of these languages have some vocabulary on words that can be written. They don't have a whole gamma of grammar and vocabulary written. Like the language that they speak whistling. Don't have a whole vocabulary on whistling, and there's no way to put that on written form. How can we teach AI if the AI cannot read the words?
Because they read word by
Yeah.
the data's getting this.
For now, we already had, like, because the studies of the languages and everything, we already have a way to express. Like when you see a dictionary, have the word, how you speak that word, and the explanation.
Yes.
So even if we don't know our written form, we still can express in the way that the word is said. So at least is a way to train AIs. There's not the idea of the project. The project is just make the database. But even if we have this difficulties, there is a way to use the database to make the language.
You give a signal, then how you act.
Exactly.
So the written word is the signal, and so the voice, how presentation is the act.
Not necessarily needed that a word to be the not formal but official way of writing that word. Is like a Chinese. I can take the word, let's say, 我. We can put 我 in Chinese character in the ideogram, or we can put a W, O, and the circumflex to make it like 我. You can express not just how you say, but the tone you say. So it's the same. For many languages, there is a way when we make the database, when we have a big database big enough, to use this to train AIs, to make projects, to make all the tools that this organization want to provide the database. So there is a way, but it's harder. So when you want to approach a community that there's not even a written form, it's harder.
Yes. So that these one not only need to approach the equipments, but knowledges and the creativity of how to transform the words
exactly
into the AI, how the AI could learn.
Yes.
So next one is what I was talking about, the cultural sensitivity. Engaging with communities requires respect for cultural norms and practices. Sometimes speakers are reluctant to share their language due to past exploitation or fear of losing cultural identity. Building trust is essential, but can be time consuming.
Yes.
So you cannot just go there and say, okay, this is our project. We want to do this. We want to do that.
Yeah.
How can they trust you?
Exactly.
And for their knowledges, why would I have to participate in one of these of your project? What does it do good to me?
Yes. Like maybe like you're stealing the soul of our culture. What's you gonna do with our culture? Maybe you wanna overpass this. Maybe just the idea of you contacting us can overpass our culture or change our culture some way. They, like you said, have already maybe some exploitation in the past. They have some fear. They already have a very small community. They need to protect this community. So some of them gonna have this, like you're wishing to bring, that is a very important. The cultural sensitivity is really important, probably one of the most important, because it's what's gonna define our respect for their culture. And this is gonna echo for the other communities, because think about if we do badly on the first one, all the other communities not gonna wish to do with us also. Even we are just there to record, we're not there to pass anything, to explain anything, or to teach them anything. No, we're not there for this. We need to think about what could go wrong. So the idea of create a template of the project, and why we want to start with Luxembourg, we're gonna talk in the next video, is exactly this, is how we can approach, who we can talk to, on how we can talk, what is the best way, which words to say, how we gonna do. Many people work, they don't have time to be stopping to share their voice, their stories, how we gonna approach these people. So all these need to be on the template, how we gonna do the procedures. So we need to create the procedures to approach these people. That's communities.
So hearing what you are saying, so the next challenges looks like the less challenges.
Yes.
The logistical barriers.
Yes.
Reaching these communities often involves complex logics from logistics from travel to remote areas, to providing the right recording equipment that they can handle the nuances of human speech in diverse environments.
Yes. So our first idea, it was to bring people to a whole recording studio.
Like we have a main studio set up
Yes.
somewhere, and so we can find those people and bring
Yes.
this. That seems a little bit narrowed,
Yeah, so it's gonna be
restricted.
extremely time consuming and pricey also, because needed to bring the people, needed to pay everything for these people there, and also the studio and everything. And if something go wrong, need to bring the person again, and we're just gonna have one person. If we bring two, everything is double price. So this is one of the ideas we developed, this to ship the equipment. We can make on 10% of the price that we were wishing to do, and the person can record on their own pace, on their own home, speaking with people in their community, so they can bring to their own home, their own place, people that's going to speak their language, and they can have interviews with each other, one interview each other, or bring more people telling stories. So it's a great way to have not just a bigger database, a much more heavy one with better cultural knowledge without our interference, but also is a way that they can keep like this while you still have equipment, do for years. Keep talking, just talking their own language, and the database is going to keep growing. So this is a way also that we see, if happens, the shift of language. Think about like in 10 years, the person is still doing that same recording at home, talking a few words, or for a half hour or 1 hour a week or a month. They go in their own pace. But in 10 years, have a shift of network of cultural.
Yeah, think about it.
And some words changed. This is going to be really interesting.
That's right. That's right.
Like Portuguese of Brazil and Portugal. They both are Portuguese, but the words changed already. How we say some words changed, and the pronunciation changed. So many things changes in a very small time. Now is a long time since everything happened, but it changed not so long ago. So, and now Portugal is changing back. Change back now. It's changing for a little of Brazilian accent, because now, since Brazil is a bigger community than Portugal is, have much more YouTubers, much more news, much more media than Portugal. So what's happening is people in Portugal are watching Brazilian YouTubers, and so what's happening is the kids are learning Brazilian Portuguese.
So that the change of that can help us to understand the time, the story, the events that is happening.
Yes, think
that
about
is pushing this change.
Yes, think about a community that used to say yeah as like I, yeah. And in 10 years, it's changed from yeah to yeah. We're going to be able to record this and understand exactly when change from yeah to yeah to say I. And another words also, or when new technologies come, how they transliterate this technology name to their own language. It's like a mouse, the computer mouse. In Portuguese, Brazil, we call mouse. In Portuguese, Portugal, rato.
Rato means mouse in
Portuguese
also.
Yes. So why they changed? Why one is different from another one? If we do this project right, the way we want to do, we're going to be able to know exactly when this changed, this shift, how it changed, why it changed, and we're going to be able to have, how can I say, like versions of the same language. So this is the version 1 original, a version 2, or 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. We're going to have versions of the same language.
So it's more like a database, a time machine. So you will be able to retrieve and see when that language was happening in this certain time, and another time was another one was happening another time.
Is it
very interesting?
Okay, now our approach.
Our purpose, our job, and our goal is, first of all, direct engagement, like how we are going to approach with those locals in face-to-face, personally. We work directly with the last speakers, ensuring that their involvement is consensual and respectful. Our approach is collaborative, where we learn from them, not just the languages, not just the language, but also the cultural content in which it thrives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one, technological innovation. We utilize advanced recording technologies to capture the
Subtleties, yes.
subtleties. I always have difficulties pronounce that. Subtleties of each language, aiming to preserve not just the sounds, but the spirit of how they are used in daily life. Not the sound,
Yes,
the
exactly.
culture, the story of that.
Because you need to think about also have some language that they don't speak using just the lips and the tongue. They whistle. They they
Yes,
click. Think or they click. Have some language they click. Have some language
I
that
remember one that they were sound, even make the sound of the bird.
yes, have bird sounds also. So yes, is the bird language. Think about like this. Uh, some equipments are not made for this. Our microphone is not made for this. If I do some a little more sound here or a whistle, it's gonna explode the sound. I don't know how is the word in English, but we need to ensure that technology gonna be able to record this difference from the usual language
Mm-mm.
or not so common language. So needs to be good technology. Already have in the market. We don't need to develop, but we need to develop the procedures how this technology is going to be used, the distance, the microphones, how it's going to be the environment and everything to have a minimum quality control.
That requires knowledges of understanding those
Yeah,
technology
the equipments.
equipments
Yes,
also.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Not any equipment. It's like when you use some microphone outside, have a head that we put here, so the wind doesn't
Mm-hmm.
hurt. People who doesn't never work with sound equipment don't know about this
Mm-hmm.
equipment that you put here. So the sound of the wind doesn't hit the microphone. That doesn't make the microphone lose also the speaker's voice because it be just over with the wind
Mm.
and the speaker's not heard. So all the equipments need to be tested, organized, and be settled by someone who understands them.
Mm.
And we do tests and go developing the template. You know, the procedures how we're gonna do the template, the how not just how we're gonna record those voices, but ensure that they're gonna be recorded right.
Wow. Sounds very challenging.
Yes, for some of them, not for most. For most of them, are language that came more from Chinese. That came from the same tree than the Chinese. Some of them came from the same tree than in English, or like you came from the Latin, or like some of Roman language. And you're gonna have mostly of the languages are very natural for the equipment, but some of them are not. Some of them are not made for equipment. They have ups and downs too high. Also, like I speak like this, and some equipment maybe don't get to this nuances.
Yes. Okay, the last one, community empowerment. By involving the community in our projects, we're not only documenting, but also revitalizing interests among younger generations, potentially sparking a revival.
Yeah, this could be a if this happens, if we can record good enough, and people gonna make tools with this recorder with this database, the people they can study. Because now, if I want to learn a language that just have like 100 speakers, don't have books, don't have teachers, doesn't have books, doesn't have teachers, doesn't have any equipment that they can hear the voice.
Mm.
Even Luxembourg, that is a language official in a country, in one of a very rich country
Mm.
that have hundreds of thousands of speakers, doesn't have to I listen the language in Google.
Well, we were struggling in finding these audios.
Exactly. So don't have tools to listen the language.
Luxembourg.
Think yes,
Should it be?
just imagine a language with just a bunch of people. So once we have this database, we have people gonna make the technology, people can study these languages. I'm gonna be able to study a language that just have 10 speakers. That is be very hiding in a corner of the world that people don't even visit anymore.
But think about it, I am going to say, no, I'm gonna go visit that place. But by going that place, how can I understand more before I get in touch with those people?
Yes. And maybe we have the tool that translate. Hello, I can go visit to them. I don't need
certain areas.
I don't need to expect this person to speak English, to speak French, to speak Portuguese, to speak Chinese. I can go there and speak with this person on their own language. I can so there's a chance I visit more these people. I put there in my cell phone, hi, hello, how much is this? So I'm gonna translate in that language. Doesn't matter how small are the amount of people that speak that language.
Well, does it mean that if those places are not restricted, we are able, our possibilities, our adventures just grow stronger?
Exactly. Exactly. One restriction on this place that you need to have someone that speaks your language is gone. So it's gonna be very interesting, and people are gonna be able to understand that the young folk on these people are gonna be able to learn the language, or the language of their parents easier, or the language of their grandparents, or the language of the neighbors, and not just they need to learn French. The French people can learn their own language, that small language also.
So it's we're not only this project is rewarding, but also before all the rewards, before all this excitement happens for us to get in touch with the cultures of others, it is also very time consuming.
Yes.
Challenging.
Yes.
Have areas that we might never have encountered before, like these technologies you just said.
Yes.
And we have to have teams that are professional of this.
Yes, exactly. So there probably are places that we cannot reach because many places are protected. Look, it's like I said, we needed to categorize which language we can make. We're probably gonna start first with most easier language, like say Luxembourg. Luxembourgish is A plus on easy scale. And we're going to explain this on the next video. Endangered language with just a few speakers, really vulnerable languages, are the most needed to be recorded. However, are the hardest one.
Yes, and with less speakers, probably doesn't mean that it's the most hard to record.
Yes.
Maybe a group of people with 100,000 speakers have restricted cultural, and it's hard to approach also.
Yes, and from 7,000 languages, 3,000 gonna be easy. We find the person, ship the equipment, explain how to work, how to do, how record how long, how distance, do this, do tests to see if the recording right. Send a team they talk about some ideas, some subjects, talk about Women's Day, like I said, or the New Year's party or some birthday, talk about this. So for like 2,000, 3,000 of them gonna be like this. But these are the easy ones to find, easy ones to reach, and have young people who can use equipments. The other 3,000 gonna have some challenge of technology, or gonna have some challenge to reach these people, or gonna have some challenge on they have time to speak, or they even have place to charge the phone. So we needed to the camera, so we needed the computer, so we needed to ship also the power, some power supply, some like solar panels or whatever. So another 3 hardest one, we're gonna need to see case by case.
Well, it's very easy said, but think about ship the equipments. How are you going to ensure the equipments keep functioning, and how someone need to be there, maintain the equipment?
And safety also, not for the equipment but for the person, because if depend on the area, if that person have some equipment, let's say $2,000 equipment, $3,000 equipment, and this is not well seen by the community.
Yeah, and the power supplies for
Yeah,
this
so
equipment still keeps
yeah,
running.
so half of the cases is gonna be we need to see case by case. Most of them we're gonna see no, okay, this one can do, but a few of them gonna be no, this one still needs some extra, or but this way, this community, this one, there's no way we ship the equipment. We need to bring the people so they record in a studio. So gonna be case by case.
So this is a project that is requires big efforts
Yes.
and all sorts of helps. And here is what you can help us.
Yes.
Your roles in the projects. Okay. Your support is crucial. And here are the ways that you can help. First of all, it's very realistic way, funding. Contributions can help us cover travel, equipment, and the time needed to work in depth with communities.
Yes.
Volunteering. If you have skills in linguistics, technology, or cultural studies, your expertise can directly aid our efforts.
Yes, this is really important. We
Wow.
need the people at our sides. We need the people that, or they are the people that can speak this language, or there are people who know can speak this language, or they are studying cultural of this area, of this people, this community, or they understand about linguistics. They want to make a portfolio, or they want to explain to us how to approach this language, what we should ask the people to talk on the microphone, and the technology also. Which microphone, how to do. Urban area is different than more outside area, or some people don't even have a place to record, like a house or a room, whatever. They need to record outside. How to do this? So technology is really important also.
Yes. If you are none of these professions and you feel this project is really interesting, really, how you say, like meaningful, don't worry, it still can help by spreading your awareness to the public. Share our mission, because the more people know about the plight of these languages, the more support we can garner, and we might find more helpers that are in these professional areas.
Exactly. So share the video, comment on it, share the idea, talk to people, ask people to see our website, to see our channel, to contact us. Be part of the project. It's not just funding or volunteering, but also spreading awareness. Simple like that.
Well,
it was a good episode, right? I like it. It was a good episode. What do you think?
I like to bring up the challenges. It might look very difficult, but by bringing up these challenges, we are one step closer to fulfill the mission. But of course, we're just not even starting yet.
Yes, we still have a long way. But we are starting. We already developed a lot. We already developed the procedures. We already have the database with the languages. We already have an idea and a notion of what we want to do and how we're going to do.
Yeah, so we're approaching linguistics.
Yeah, exactly. So, but still there is a long way. Be part of this project. You can fund our project. You can share about our project, or you can participate. Contact us and see how you can help. Any help is welcome.
How? Like Voices Republic.
Okay. Bye-bye.